Right, guys, we're just setting up for round 4 right now. We have 4 players that are 3-0, 3 wins and 0 losses. Simeon Delapina, George Delapina, Jake Bale, and Nick Bond. We have on the top table at the moment Jake Bale on the right and Nick Bond on the left. Just setting up. We're on the live stream on YouTube, so if you want to jump on here and ask us any questions, I'll try and keep tabs. This time we've not had much commentary going because we are a little short-staffed, but I shall go through the list for you. Nick Bond, 99 points playing Rebels with Miranda. Twin laser turret, Sabine Wren, extra munitions, cluster mines, seismic charges, and advanced slam. Gold squadron pilot, Y-wing, R3A2, twin laser turret, BTL A4, and big start glider, X-wing, R4D6, integrated astromech. And also we have Jake Bale, who's on the right of your screen, playing Scum. 99 points with a contracted scout, rigged shoot, a tiny mind link, and Fen, Ra, Concord Dawn, auto thrusters, a tiny mind link, and a Sarge Vent, a Latsarazi, and a tiny mind link. We'll be keeping tabs as best we can. The stream may go quiet at some point because there are not many commentators about today, but I will try my best to answer any questions that you have. We're just getting ready to call the first round. Of course, this weekend we're playing for the Golden Poe. The player can win Saturday and Sunday. The only player that's open to at the moment is George, because he obviously won the Saturday. We are just wondering whether he can do the Sunday. He's playing Sim, so this round is all important. Just going to call the start of the round, so we'll go quiet for a bit. Nick and Jake are progressing this game pretty quickly at the moment. Jake's ships are beautifully painted. We're seeing a lot more custom painted X-Wing ships. Every tournament there's just getting more and more of these wonderfully painted ships. Getting any questions, just pop them up on the YouTube. Commentary is on, and we have Shane Hibbard, who's just won his game against Ben Cox, was it?
Ben Dillon.
Ben Dillon.
And the amazing triple Trando.
So we have Nick Bond on the left here, and Jake Bale on the right.
Let's have a quick loosey-goo,
So
run you
Shane
through.
will probably talk you through them.
That's a piece of... There we go, right, okay. So, we have Missy or Jake running an alteration to Paratani. So, Manaru gets dropped to Contract Scout with Rig Cargo Shoot. Gotta love the Rig Cargo Shoot. And Mr. Bond is running a Miranda with clusters, seismics, standard build at 47 points. Stress bot in the form of a gold squadron, and Biggs with R4D6. So I am coming a little bit late to the party, so let's have a quick look what's going on. So looking at it, we've got both Biggs and the Y on a damage. Can't see any shields on Miranda. And Jake is looking pretty strong. So, oh, there's a lot of stress on the table. Okay, let's have a look. Gotta love the Atani Mind Link. Got a live chat. Yeah, this YouTube thing is new to me. You usually see it on Facebook. If you are watching and commenting, just give us a hello. See who's about. Must admit, you gotta love Jake's repaints. They are beautiful and they come up really nice on the stream. His visage there is very well blended. So position-wise, Miranda seems good for a setup on Fen, so we could see a cluster mine come up on here, which could really hurt Fen. And in all fairness, would you seismic charge as well for good measure? I don't fly Miranda, so I won't be able to make that call. To me, I'd probably blow my load in the first engagement. So it does appear like he's going in the gap. Oh, he's gone for the hard 2. Okay, that's interesting. Jake using the lovely markers been given by the Euros, which was an amazing weekend. Anyone that didn't go, you guys severely missed out. It was amazing. Anyone that did go will know just how fun it was. Given the fact there was a few little hiccups, it was still pretty amazing. So, he's going for the clusters. Let's see if Fen can survive some cluster mines. So, it would appear he's going to get hit by 2. Is that on? Oh, oh. Jake, bless him, has got the shakes. It's a tricky one. Both these guys on 3 wins, so one of these guys will go through to play either George or Sim, depending on how well they're doing. So this is pretty crucial. Let's see what happens. We've got 1 damage. So Sabine will take it to 2 and Fence goes unscathed. Not quite sure what that second reel was. What's that all about? Okay, it would appear that they're forced to second. What? Okay, so he rolled a 4 dice. Nick, I'm assuming, wasn't happy and forced him to re-roll. That's a bit harsh. What was the re-roll for? Well, we knew it'd hurt, but not quite sure that needed a reroll. But, as I said, all to play for, both going through to the final. We've got George chasing the double, currently playing Sim. Sim's running Ketsu Bosk, and he's loving it, bless him. So Miranda craps out against the Contracting Scout. Second TLT shot. Ooh, out of hand. Takes a damage. Makes up for the initial. So I still think Jake is in a very good position here. If Asajj can sink some damage on Biggs, Contracting Scout should be able to finish it off. Is he going to spend it? He's spending his focus for 3 hits and his target lock. Let's see what we've got. So it's a blank and evade, so that's 2 damage. Nick's droid can't kick in, so he's going to have to pop his droid. Damage. So he's going to pop his droid, leaves him on 1 hit point. I do like the addition to the integrated astromech. I think it gives it a little bit of extra life to the T65s. I know a lot of people are still screaming for a fix for them, but how are you going to fix a T65 without making Biggs even more of an annoyance than he is? But Scum seems to get an awful lot of love, so I don't see why not. So 4 dice from Biggs on the Contracted Scout. Hit, crit. He returns with an evade. Will he spend the focus, or will he take the 2 shields? He's going to spend it and lose a single shield. So he's denying the half points. He's going for the range 1 back, I would assume. Yep, 3 dice. Nice, hit crit out of hand. Natural to evades? No. He's got a focus token, so Biggs survives another round. So, position-wise, all 3 of Nick's ships are in a bit of an awkward situation, with there being a rock in front of them. Jake's got a decent position-wise. If he just 1 forward, stays in the way, could force an awful lot of bumps. Sarge can swing in, start dealing some damage from the rear. I would imagine Miranda is going to hard 2 away. But we shall see what happens. Asajj is still a pain in the arse to shut down, but if Jake doesn't get rid of that stress spot, that could cause a lot of issues for Asajj. Potentially 2 stress a turn. Asajj can't remove that much, but at the same time the Y-Wing is sitting on an awful lot of stress for Asajj to use, so lots of auto evades thanks to Lats Razi. So the Y-Wing shooter actually moves first, so I would imagine it'll 1 bank in, or even hard 2. If you guys do have any questions, feel free. I can see the live chat. Joey Abs, if you're still around. It was George Delapina that won yesterday. So So he's gunning for that gold Poe. That's Poe, not poo. So, Nick's banked in, as expected. Jake's banks across. So, he does still have his cargo chute. I personally would go for it. Then again, I love the rigged cargo chute. Yeah, there we go. That's what we like. So, will he clip the Y? So he's not going to clip the Y. But if Biggs is turning in on the... What's it? He's definitely going to be hitting that stress. Yep, that's nice. It also stops, well, it hinders the Y-wing from hard-2ing in next turn. So, we're going to mark up. It looks like Biggs is going for a 3 bank. That lovely little ship marker you can see there is from the Nordic guys at Euros. There's quite a few of the team that got one. They are pretty cool. I'm assuming it's meant to be a set of horns, but I must admit they do kind of look like a mustache. So this is where we spend all this time setting up. He rolls his damage, crits himself, and removes it anyway. So here we go. Going for the roll. Is he going to roll? Here we go. There we go, blank, so he survives. Annoying for Jake, that would have been nice. Hard 3 I'd get. Oh no, he's gone for a 2 bank. Interesting choice, he's going to keep him at range. Focus the list. Okay, interesting choice from Miranda. I suppose he's trying to keep close with TLT. So that's all 3 of Nick's ships on the contracted scout this turn, which is gonna hurt. Luckily for Jake, only a primary from the Y-wing, because he's too close for his TLT. And it's tokenless from 2 of his ships. So Jake is in a relatively good position. Oh, he's going for it. So, 1 hit. Does he spend his focus? He's going for a focus. So 2 dice. So that's at single damage. TLT doing work on Asajj. So that's a crit, a focus, and a crit. So yeah, again, that's 2 shields gone off Asajj. I can't work out whether those shields are on Miranda, as they're above her card, so I'm not quite sure. Sarge is going to go for the range 3 through a rock on Biggs. That's risky. Just checking range, see whether he can shoot Miranda. Can he shoot Miranda? Looked good. So he's going for Biggs. Okay. So focus for 3 hits. That's not too bad. So it's flat rolling. Range 3 through. Wow. 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 That was nice. That was cheeky. That was cheeky. 4 dice out of hand, no mods. Oh! Wow. Wow. Nick's dice have warmed up somewhat chronic. And we've got a single evade. So that's a hit and a crit on the contracted scout. We've got major explosion. So here we go, see what we get. And yep, takes a second crit. That is very unlucky. And it is weapons failure. Oh wow, that's punishing. That is a horrible round of shooting. Biggs, for all intents and purposes, should be dead right now. Okay, so Biggs is dead, but I'm not sure Jake rolled the right amount. Jake, your second crit, what was it? So you need to re-roll that then. You rolled 3 dice on the attack, guys. So, just reminded the guys that it was a weapons failure, so they do need to retake the shot. 2 hits. Still good. Same outcome. So, all good. All is good. So, now it gets interesting. Can the Y flat roll 3 dice, range 1, and try and finish off the scout, which will make it a very tough game for Asajj. So, he's going to stress. Good old stress bot. Current meta, I think the stress bot is a wicked idea. So 2 crits. So we've got Shaken Pilot. And the contracted scout survives a turn. Not bad. So position wise, the Y wing could go hard 2. Sarge is pretty predictable in the fact that he's going to do a hard 3, remove stress, more than likely focus up. Contracted scout.
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, pretty good. It's a bit weird doing it on your own.
Yeah,
no one ready to play off, but I'm kind of just talking to myself.
Better than playing with yourself. Well,
I don't know about that. Let's keep it PG. Hey James, I've got company, guys.
It's like pod racing, this.
It's pretty mental. Nick's dice just healed us somewhat chronic. It was 3 hits from a sergeant, range 3. Nick rolled 3 natural evades out of hand.
wow.
Yeah, to survive, which meant the scout had to basically waste a shot to finish Biggs off.
So do you reckon it's pretty tight?
Very. The position-wise, Jake's in a very good position because with the wiring being a stress bot, constantly stressed, it's hard for it to keep arc. So as long as Jake plays to that, so with a hard one there, he can barrel roll to take himself out of arc and stop the basic stress bot keep stressing him. Whether Jake does that is a different matter.
If you're watching on the live stream, speak up, say hi, ask us a question, anything, we'll answer anything, absolutely anything. Well, Shane will.
Yeah, talk to me, people. Please talk to me. Can't quite see from here, but I'm guessing Jake has eyeballed that up, and the Y-wing could potentially be out of arc. If he's not, I don't know what Jake's doing.
Has he just landed on that bomb?
Jake has just flown straight onto that bomb. I am really not sure why.
What? Why has he done that?
I'm going to go with that's a bit of a derp on Jake's part. He's put himself on a bot and he's put in position to get seismic charge next turn as well. Well, this turn even. So, not sure what he's doing there. Oh, and he's taking 3 damage for his Shazes. So that's, yeah, that is unfortunate. So of course he's going to seismic charge.
Yeah, wow.
So there's another damage on Asajj. That was a punishing round. Hello, Giovanni. Thank you for joining us.
Giovanni, I believe you asked us the question yesterday that was on the Cloud City.
Yes, I
stream,
chat with Cloud Sire.
Yeah, we did answer it. I don't know if you saw it, but we did.
Regarding Harrigator.
Harrigator, yes, that's right.
Cal's infamous ghost build. So Sabine takes another 2 damage on Asajj from this seismic. Do we know if Miranda still has her shields?
Miranda is being flown by Nick, isn't it?
Yes.
Indeed, she has.
So that's going to make it a very tough game. Yeah. Full health Miranda, essentially. It's going to be a tough one to crack. Though it is a range 2 from Asajj and a range 1 from the contract itself if it survives. I'm guessing Nick's just gone for the TLT shot on Asajj and blanked out in the first shot. And blanked out in the second one. I would assume he's going to save his focus for defense. It's the Harrigator. It's definitely an interesting build. I know Cal flies it very well. I know Kanan Biggs is quite popular. I know, is it Lorenzo? I was with him at Tatooine when he took it to Tatooine Open. Came second. He flew it very well. But no, I didn't see many ghosts at Tatooine when I went, to be honest. So it's a range 1 from the scout with a single hit. And there's a blank, so there's a shield gone from Miranda. Oh no, he went for the Y-wing. Interesting. I'm guessing Asajj. Is Asajj on the rock, or did Asajj not attack? Two out of hand, it's not bad.
Oh, you can see some blanks being rolled in.
So there's the contacted scout gone. Now this is going to be an extremely tough one. Jake needs to fly very carefully right now. So Asajj is left on 3 hull. Three hole left on the Y wing, and Miranda is on full shields. What would you do, John?
What I do here, probably what he's going to do now.
It's an interesting choice to run away with the stress ball. Don't know whether Nick's conserving points or trying to get out of the way from Miranda.
So often our weekend tournaments do come down to MOV.
Saturdays definitely.
Yeah.
In the past two have been MOV deciders.
Yeah.
Do we know how George and Sim are doing? Is they
I'll
playing?
try and lean over and have a look, see what they were doing, but I couldn't quite. So I need to go around. I'll leave it as a surprise. It's kind of a shame they wouldn't go on the live stream, but I can understand why. They are on so often.
When they do as well as them, yeah, they kind of are. So that's a target lock. Was that just in or just out? So yeah, that was just out.
Type on that if you want. A lot of people listen with the sound off. Hi everybody.
So close at the end, so close.
Too used to text on.
So I beat Paul. It's very difficult for you to get all these notes. I'm a zero agility shell. You've got to do 8 damage to get that. They are getting they'd have to have a horrible game to not.
And Kev Banley's just reporting his points. So we got Kev finished, Cal finished, and Cal might come and join us for a bit of commentary with Shane.
Alright.
Yeah.
So Giovanni, if you're still still listening, Cal's just joined us. Pretty much the creator of Harrogator. Giovanni asked on our podcast the other day about how viable a list the Harrogator list is. So if you'd like to talk about your list.
Mate, that's a total meta call, isn't it? That's what do you think you're going to be flying against? If you're going to be flying against triple jumps with Boba Fett on it all day, don't do it because you'll just hate yourself. There's plenty of other stuff that gets smashed pretty hard by Hera. They just don't have any game at all. She's very good against Miranda. Miranda dies very fast. She'll have 3 turns. If she spends a shield at all, she'll have 2. It's very sad times to be Miranda when Hera's shooting you.
Yeah, I can imagine. Basically, so the whole idea behind it is anything with 1 or less agility dies extremely quick.
Yeah, 100%.
In basic gist of it. So, from what I gather, this was something you designed as soon as it pretty much came out, is that right?
I wish that was true. It's not. I said on a podcast, I came down to here and I was flying mind link jumps before they were cool.
Yep.
And I was talking to Ash just randomly between rounds, and he said he's not really seen a good ghost build. I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take that challenge. And started brainstorming. The obvious Kanan builds come up.
Yep.
Get lots of focus tokens,
Yep.
profit.
Yep.
And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I quite like this Hera ability. What can I do with that? And obviously coupled with Navigator, it works very well.
Yes.
The problem then was winning the game. I liked moving the ship around,
Yep.
but I wasn't winning any games. And the accuracy correction, the TLT, came about because I somehow don't roll dice well. Like my wrist failed or
I
something.
genuinely have seen your dice, and they are horrific.
Yeah.
Horrific.
So just being able to lose all that stress of bad dice rolls and just say, instead, I get 2. Scrap result, but 2's enough.
It's high average. 3 dice, 2 hits. That's that's relatively good. And as we've said, anything with one agility is taking
Toast.
a damage.
Here's toast.
So you don't even have to roll any dice. You can just say here, have 4 damage.
Absolutely.
Essentially. So obviously that's why we're saying the Miranda dies really quickly.
Yes. TLT Y-Wings, which are relatively popular.
Seb, bless him, loves his Y-Wings.
Are basically food. A lot of the time, if you get good at judging ranges, which you will as you get better at the game,
Yep.
everyone does, you can juggle it so that you're in range of maybe just 1 TLTY at a time. If you are, it dies in 2 rounds. If you aren't and you engage the whole list, you're probably dead in 2 rounds because you're not dodging any of their TLT fire either.
This is correct, yep. So you have 0 green
Playing
dice.
around the rocks is very important.
Yep.
Judging where your opponent's next turn is going to be is very relevant.
Not flying onto rocks.
Factual piece of information, something which I still haven't quite grasped. For those of you who didn't get to hear about it, my last round's game against Rasta came down to me flying onto a rock because I am a bit special, and
Pretty
there was
much costing the
no
game,
reason
bless
to
him.
do it.
He 3 banked when he had loads of room and really didn't need to do it, did you?
Absolutely, I could have just flown away from him. I
But it
was
just
already
goes
winning.
to show, even the best players in the room can still make simple mistakes.
Absolutely.
It happens.
When you play against, well, the best guy in Europe, allegedly now, we can call him that, can't we?
I'm pretty sure he's earned that status.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure he's earned that.
When you play against the best guy in Europe, you still get the jitters, the same as I did when I was playing on the top tables at Yavin. Clearly, I don't handle the pressure very well, even with a relatively low stress list. What I have found is that the list lets you pay attention to things that you wouldn't normally during a game. So instead of focusing on how your dice roll went, this, that and the other, you're looking at the board purely based on position, where you're going to be this turn, where you're going to be next turn, where you think your opponent's ships are going to be, because you don't have to worry about fire arcs, you don't have to worry about
The thing
dice
I said
rolls.
in the podcast the other day is anything below your PS, you can outmaneuver. Anything high, that's when it starts to struggle.
Yes and no. Some ships you can handle very easily. I've got good at handling Fen, but Fen's easy. The range of moves on his dial is not entirely limited, but it's limited by the fact that he's only got 1 reposition because he always turns up with Mind Link. PTL ships traditionally were much more of a struggle for me because they would get into my range 1 hole a lot more frequently.
Good old Suntier.
Absolutely.
What a douche.
However, with the addition of Ahsoka's Tie, getting good at flying that, as long as that's close by, you can always boost back out to range 2, away from the guys that engage you at 1, turning their auto thruster off, and getting them killed.
Yep, which is pretty powerful against Fen.
That's right.
I've always said, when it comes to a list with Fen, you ignore him until he's on his own, or if you ever get the range 2 shot, then you take
Absolutely.
it. That's basically how I've always dealt with Fen.
So those kinds of guys They become easier to deal with because of the addition of Ahsoka. And with Rey, you can have a focus on Ahsoka and a focus to use for her ability on crucial turns. So it's about banking those, selectively. Fen very often won't try and dive to range 1 anymore, because he'll see that I can just boost away.
Yep.
So instead what I get is range 3 engages much more frequently. And without him having 2 focus tokens, he actually takes
4
damage.
shots, yeah. 4 shots on a Fen. Bex can have his 2 focus. It's only 3 dice at range 3 with 1 modification. You get 2 focus. Yeah, it's a tricky one.
You can end up getting burnt down.
Yep.
And because I can juggle the other ships out of range early game, if some damage does go through on Fen, they can't afford to be very aggressive with him.
No.
And once he's down, I'm pretty confident the rest of the game goes easily to me. The game against Kev with his triple jumps yesterday was a game of dodging the Boba Fett trigger. And I did for quite some time. Did a lot of damage to the jump masters, and then eventually got caught and killed.
Something that's cropping up a lot is the Boba Fett crew card.
Yeah.
How detrimental to your list is Boba Fett?
It is a silver bullet. It completely wipes me out.
Yeah.
If it triggers, I have lost, because it turns the TLT off, the accuracy corrector is then useless, the multiple shots are then useless. You can roll 2 hits, but I won't.
Yeah. So, what would you take from the Harrogate if you were to Boba? Would it be the TLT?
TLT.
Yeah.
There's no questions asked. If you're playing against the Kanan Biggs build, maybe not the TLT there, because they tend to do weird things. They'll often have fire control system, use their front arcs a bit more.
Yeah. Usually, Kanan tends to take. I've seen a few builds with Finn, and the Ghost hits with it like a truck with Finn. It's ridiculous.
And there you've got options as what you're taking off. I would say a strong argument there is that you're taking off their title.
Yep.
So they're not multi-shotting, they're not getting their rear arc against you.
And it means the Phantom can't dock.
Can't undock.
Yes,
Yeah.
can't undock, which is
Until it's dead.
Which is pretty much a guaranteed damage when it comes out.
Absolutely. So you shoot the title off there.
Mm.
If they do get TLT shots you, it's only 2.
Yep.
If they don't and they're looking for arcs, they're limited to front arc.
Yep.
And the Ghost is terrible at bringing its front arc into play often. Even with Hera and fancy shenanigans, you're really limited. If you force it to K-turn, that's a win in itself, really. Kanan handles it better. But I don't know, if you're at the point where you're ripping cards off Kanan, have you already killed Biggs? Is the game already yours anyway? I don't know.
Yeah, that's I suppose if you look at it in the whole Torp race, because obviously the Torps deny your Biggs. You know, if someone wants to kill the Ghost and is running the triple jumps with Torps, you pretty much can afford to ignore Biggs.
Yeah.
Because your Torps bypass Biggs' ability.
Assuming you can range control it well enough.
And yes, exactly that. If you can range control it, then yeah, you can pretty much deny Biggs' ability, and you can go to town with Torps on the Ghost. In theory, if you get a Plasma Torp off, followed by a Proton Torp, followed by Boba, 2 shots and you've removed something from the Ghost. But yet again, you know, a decent Ghost player would try and stop that. And at the same time,
George just beating Sim.
So the father trumps the son
Again.
It was very, very close. They were flying around each other with 3 call left.
Really?
Yeah.
So as I said before, Sim's
Is that George
running...
on the double? Or is the one?
No.
There's one more
There's
round. One more round left. He
So
plays the winner of this one.
It could be Jake or Nick.
Okay.
So George is running
Okay.
the Libra Miranda, which Sim created. So I'm sure Sim's loving that. And Sim is running Ketsu Bosk.
Super Alpha Strike.
Super
aggro.
Alpha Strike. It's hits. Yeah, the combo between the two is just ridiculous.
Was there's a couple minutes left on the round now, or how long have we got on the round, John?
Sorry?
How long's left on the round?
8 minutes.
Okay, so not long to play left. This looks like it's going to roll up fairly quickly.
Yeah.
That bump there with Miranda.
Asajj is not in a very good position.
Not really, but it's difficult to see. I mean, what sort of damage have we got on different things? Asajj is
sitting on 3 hull.
Yeah. Where's Miranda?
Miranda's full.
Full.
Yeah,
Wow.
Miranda's
Okay.
full.
So the game is Rebels to lose then, really.
Yep. a damage on a Sarge.
Critical.
No, it's a TLT.
Oh, got you. Okay.
I'm not quite sure why he spent the stress.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's still 1 damage because it's TLT.
Okay, yeah, something's gone astray there, but we'll just leave
Yeah.
him to it. It's an opportunity that he shouldn't have taken. But back on topic. If you wanted to play the Harrogator list, judge what your meta's going to be. Play it a lot yourself. Don't just think you can rock the list up to an event and go, yeah, okay, I've got the TLT spam, I win, because that has generally not been people's experience when they've messaged me. You need to really pay attention. You need to take bad turns sometimes for manoeuvrability for your following turns. It's about gauging risks. Do practice it a lot before you fly to the big event, because no one wants to waste 25 quid on an entry ticket just to get chump bashed in the first 2 rounds. Take something more solid. Get a feel for what your local player meta is. Paratoni's still solid.
Yeah.
We can recommend that as a new people
definitely
thing.
playable.
Jumps you'll get a lot of hate for. They do actually take no, I don't want to say it. They take a fractional amount of skill to get good with, but there's a lot more you can do with them after you get a bit better.
There's a lot more shenanigans involved.
Yeah, judging some moves is very important to how you plan your future engages with having that low palette skill.
Yeah.
Lebo Miranda is basically Dash Miranda, but for players that don't have to fly into rocks. People who are good enough not to need Dash's ability as often.
The combo between countermeasures and Lebo's ability is
Huge.
is massive. It makes the YT so much more survivable than Dash.
The key being a lot of ships are looking at doing ordnance flavoured damage at the moment, using that
Bombs
lock
are big.
to really deal damage.
With the next wave coming, the rumours from that, I think you're going to see even more bombs.
Yeah, definitely. I'm already a huge fan of the Scourge. It plays right into my hands. It's a high part skill ship. It can put a TLT with an accuracy corrector on it, and then it's got some bomby good
It's
as well.
the fact that it's a multi-faction ship with it's mainly been scum and 1 rebel pilot.
Yeah, just Nim at the top.
Which is an interesting one.
Might set a trend for it going forward in the future, where you can maybe start to see things like the Shadowcaster piloted by a rebel.
Yep.
I want that. I won't lie. I'd like to play with things like that. Feels naughty being scum at the moment.
And that's seismic charge for game.
Yeah. Sabine Trigger. Yeah, we'll
Sabine
get the
Trigger,
kill.
and that's game. Unfortunately, Jake chose the wrong position to leave his Shadowcaster in.
We can't call it wrong. We've got to call it less optimal.
Okay, it's the least optimal position.
Yeah, I'll argue with least. Yeah, that's a good shout. Actually, it's the least optimal place to be because you are dead.
Yes.
But it's rude telling players they've done it wrong. I tried to avoid that earlier. We were on the stream earlier with Josh and Bamford's game.
Right.
And there was some very questionable SF tactics where he was doing hard turns, losing both his fire arcs on targets, despite the fact that there was 4 ships on the board. Not wrong, just less optimal.
And that's Nick taking the win. So it's a Nick George final. Is that 4 games? Are we on 4 games?
Yeah.
So 1 game left to play, so it'll be Nick and George fighting for the final. Now I think this is going to be quite an interesting one, because if George gets out of position against that stress spot, his Miranda is going to get shut down. And same with Lebo.
Double stress is going to be very powerful against both of those ships.
Yes.
K-Wings really struggle to get rid of any stress that comes at them.
Yes.
That's a big feature of the game.
I think Biggs' droid is going to be massive against Lebo's heavy laser.
Yeah.
This could be an interesting final.
Definitely. You'd want to think of the European champion as being the favourite in any match that he goes into.
But there are, I mean, if there was one, I'd put my money on Nick's list being a pretty decent hard counter to it. Would you agree? I'd definitely say it's a counter.
Yeah, I think he's got the right things
He's
to
got
use
the
against
bigs,
it.
he's got the stress spot, and he's got the Miranda for clusters.
Does Nick have a bid at all?
I've got his list here, let's have a look. Nick Bond is 99 points, so he has the initiative against
Which is
George.
a very powerful feature on a Miranda off.
Definitely, so that is going to be one to watch, for sure.
Could see the European champion on the back foot.
I'm thinking it's going to be a tough game for him to win, and knowing George and seeing the gold Poe, I'm pretty sure George is extremely wanting
Yeah,
to win
of
this
course he
next
is,
one.
man. Of course he is. He wants all the swag all the time.
Bless him, he loves his swag. So yeah,
Who will want a giant golden polo?
George would want a
Yeah.
golden giant pie.
All of us do, though. All of us want it so that George couldn't have it, really.
Pretty
I wanted
much,
it-
yeah.
I wanted it to stay in the store more than just one
Yeah.
tournament. I wanted it to be something difficult to win.
Of course, George just waltzes in and is could potentially steal it. But I'm feeling Nick's chances. I genuinely am.
Yeah, it's definitely not over and done with.
Definitely not. Nick's got a decent counter to everything else, so both me and Cal have got a second game, so hopefully we'll finish and we'll come commentate on the final. So,
At least the last half of it.
At least, yeah. At least the last bit. So,
So
thank you
just
for watching.
closing this stream down, guys.
We'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you in the next one.